management, not something I'm that good at. Hello and welcome to Tales from the Midnight Diary. My name is Gemma and I'm coming to you from Devon. I believe this is episode 43 of Tales from the Midnight Diary, which is my video podcast series about all the things that I have been making or not making. Sometimes more making happens than at other times, but that's life and I'm sure we're all used to that. Yeah, if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I've got a couple of finishes for you this week, a new pattern release and some exciting updates just in general about the diary and life and all the things that are happening. So I hope you've got a beverage. I don't, so I feel a bit, I'm sort of doing this with my hands in my lap at the moment because I've got nothing to hold on to and it feels a bit weird. But we're just going to get into it because I've got a few minutes. Hubby has taken the boys on a walk so that I can just record this before I have to head off to my day job, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about that later as well because I've got a new day job and I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm sure you can see I'm feeling very happy. Okay, so let's start with finished objects. If you're new here, you might not know that I'm a kind of fledgling knitting and crochet designer. I've got a few patterns out, mostly accessories, a couple of home bits, and I'm working on my first garment releases as well. But I'm not sharing those or talking about them because it's a process, it's a long process, and you'd all get sick to the back teeth of hearing about it. So yeah, one of my hats is designer, and I got sidetracked a couple of weeks ago from the pattern I was meant to be designing by the idea of knitting my son a pumpkin because if you don't know, I've got an almost 2-year-old. He's 2 next Monday. And he's discovered Halloween this year and he is into ghosts and pumpkins and all the things, particularly pumpkins. I've decided that I had to design a pumpkin for him. So they're just here. I'm sure you can probably see them. Forgive the ends not woven in, but here are my little pumpkins. So there's 2 sizes. There's this one. I've crocheted a little thing for him to, again, excuse the ends. We're not going for professionalism here. We're going for progress, not perfection. Done is better than perfect. Right, I'm gonna stick my thumb up my pumpkin's derriere and keep the ends in. There's a sentence you probably don't hear all the time. There we go. Look. So I've done Munchkin pumpkin. So Munchkin pumpkins are a little bit more squat than your traditional big round pumpkins. This one is a 6-segment pumpkin. Looks like I'm swearing at you now. Oh my gosh, Gemma. it's a car crash. I've not even started and it's a car crash. Yeah, I've crocheted a little handle because my son likes holding the ends and waving them about. So yeah, and it's garter stitch, it's crocheted together, so it's knit flat. It took me not very long at all to make. And then you've got the larger size, which is 8 segments. Same deal though, really, same pattern, and they stack really nicely as well. I'm wondering about doing a teeny tiny one too. So that is done in, oh, I can't remember the name of the yarn, but it is 90% wool, 10% Donegal neps, which gives it that nice tweedy fleck. I loved working with this yarn. It's an Aran weight yarn. I used 5.5mm needles. I think I would use a 5 for this pattern going forward, so I'm going to write it for a 5, just because when you stuff it, you can see it stretches just a little bit. The yarn colourway is called Pumpkin Spiced Everything. I'm not sure where you can get it from. It was a gift from my friend Mina, who got it in a knit crate. I'm not even sure if knit crate's still going or where you get the yarns that they send you if you want to buy more. But there we are. If you wanted something similar, then you wouldn't go far wrong with West Yorkshire Spinners' new Colour Lab Aran tweed. I like the Shetland Croft tweed as well, but that's £10 a hank. Whereas the Colour Lab Aran, which has tweed, and it's a proper tweed with the neps in like this, and it's got some really lovely rustic colours. That I believe is £6.95 for 100 grams, so it makes it more affordable. Especially if you're doing something like decorations. I didn't use much. I've done 3 pumpkins because I had my wonky pumpkin that I showed you last time, and I've got a ball sort of like that much left. I think I've got about 20 grams left. So 80 grams will get you 3 pumpkins. I'm quite pleased with this. I did change the pattern. If you were here last week, you'll have seen that my original one had a moss stitch, but I decided in the end that I was overcomplicating things, and if I was going to try and get it to work with the moss stitch and with the segments and the increases, it would be next year before it came out. And actually it is Halloween today, so I'm quite sure the need for pumpkins is gone, but never mind. So when you see this, it'll probably be November and everyone's probably all pumpkined out and thinking about, you know, the next big thing that comes across, whether that's Thanksgiving, if you are in the America, if you're in the America, if you're in America or Canada, you're probably thinking about Thanksgiving. Here in the UK, all thoughts turn to Christmas. I said the C word. Anyway, for that reason, and because it's a much more simplified pattern than I was going for, although it's taken me a lot of work to get here, I am actually going to start by offering this pattern for free on my Payhip store and on Ravelry. So yeah, it was going to be free until the end of November, and then I'll pop a little, you know, a little something on there just to try and recoup some of my time and efforts, because it does take a lot of time to write these things up. It's not being professionally tech edited because I'm offering it for free, and then for like £1, I'm not going to spend 80 odd quid having it tech edited. And I'm practicing to be a tech editor myself, so I'm going to try and tech edit my own work, which is never advisable. I think anyone will tell you. Actually, I've got friends who are designers and tech editors, and I'm pretty sure most of them use external tech editors for their own work. It's like not teaching your own children, that sort of thing. But there we go. So there we have my 2 little pumpkins. I'm quite happy with those. They're very sweet. I've never been one to decorate for various seasons, but I've got a feeling that these guys are coming into work with me today and might just be a little display at work. Now, if 2 finishes weren't enough for you, how about a 3rd? Last time I was talking about my autumn making plans, and they were quite humble. It was to finish my pumpkin design. It was to finish a pair of socks for me, and it's to finish Robin's latest flax sweater, which I'm now spreading out on my lap, smoothing out because it's been in a bag, ready to show you. Are you ready? Oh, it's cat hair. I have 2 cats, a dog and a toddler. Nothing in this house is ever pristine, not least me. You are so lucky you're getting me a freshly washed hair this morning. But there we are. Which way's the front? There we go. There we go. There is his little Flax sweater. It's coming up quite a ruby pink on the screen. It's actually slightly more deep. It's slightly more wine coloured. Not much, but slightly. And actually, normally what I do is I finish his sweaters and stick him straight in them, but I'm actually going to put this one away for Christmas for him, and I think it's going to look super cute. He's got a little shirt that I bought him last year to grow into. I got the age 2 to 3, even though he was only 1 last year, and it's quite big on him last year. And it's got a little collar and a little red bow tie, but I would take the bow tie off, but I mean, how cute would that little collar look poking over that? And it's got reindeer and Santas and Christmas trees and things on. It's very sweet. So there we are, that's the Flax. So if you're new here, the Flax sweater is one that I knit a lot. I was incredibly late to the Flax party. I think I was the last person of all the people I knew to ever knit one. And I've made up for it by knitting 7 in the last year, 6, 7, something like that. It's a free pattern from a company called Tin Can Knits, which is run by Alexa and Emily, 2 friends. I believe one lives in Scotland and one lives in Canada. I think they were both in Canada to start with. I don't know, none of that really matters, but they have the most amazing designs. They embrace colour and they're sized always, I think always, there might be the odd one that isn't, but most of the time they're sized from newborn right up to 5XL fully fledged adult. I think we're talking 60 odd inch chest, newborn to 60 inch chest. So they're really inclusive. So you buy a pattern. So in this case, the Flax is a free download. So I have downloaded this free pattern and I'm just knitting it and knitting it and knitting it. And we'll probably keep knitting it until my son goes, no more hand knit jumpers, please, Mum. You know, hopefully that doesn't last for very long and he comes back to liking the hand knit jumpers when he's an adult, but we'll see. He's here for them at the moment. He's very, very knit worthy. So it's done top down in the round, says no sewing up, and I've found it very easy to learn this pattern. I could almost do it without the pattern now. So yeah, there we go. That's it, all done. I did the garter stitch on the sleeves. It's an interesting design feature. It does give it a certain something, but from a teaching perspective, it's great because it helps new knitters, because it's designed to be, I'm sorry, I'm getting this all very jumbled, but let's start again. It's from the Simple collection by Tin Can Knits, which is a collection of 12 designs that are designed to guide you through your first of each type of project. So your first sweater, your first cardigan, your first socks, your first hat, your first blanket. And the patterns come in a range of weights as well. So this is the Flax, which is designed for worsted or Aran weight yarn. And there's also the Flax Light, which is designed for 4-ply. Spoiler, not knit a Flax Light yet. Don't think I'm going to. I love the worsted version because it's so speedy to knit. So yeah, it's brilliant. I use it in my teaching when I'm showing people how to knit top-down sweaters for the first time, and that's exactly what Alexa and Emily have designed this for. They're designed to help people learn, and OSs are allowed to use them, people are allowed to use them to teach with. So yeah, do check that out. I'll put the link down below to the Simple collection. I've used Rowan Superwash Pure Wool Worsted, which I never bothered swatching, to be honest, because I was like, well, it's a jumper, I'm doing a size bigger, my son will grow into it. But this time I sized up a needle. I'd always done it on the 4mm needles and the 5mm needles specified, typically because I'm quite a loose knitter. So normally what I have to do is I have to size down my needles because everything ends up a lot bigger with my gauge. For some peculiar reason, on the specified needles, my gauge was way too tight. So all the increases that take place along the raglan, so that's what we call this shaping of a sweater, where you've got kind of your shoulder built in. Yeah. So all the increases along the raglan were kind of finishing almost here, and I had all of this to do straight, and the fit of the jumpers that I've knit, Robin, is a little bit peculiar. So this time, plus they seem to come up a bit small compared to the ones that his Uncle Jude was sending down from Scotland. He's got the most beautiful cotton one on at the moment, cotton merino. It's so gorgeous. See if I could put a picture in. So I thought I'd size up needles this time, so I went up to a 5.5, and I really love the fabric I've got. I think it still looks a little bit like it might be a bit snug on him, but we shall see. This is the 2 to 4 size. So that is another finish. Quite chuffed with that. Okay, that's it for finished objects, but considering my track record with finishes, I think that's pretty impressive. I've been working a lot. I've been finishing up some work from my old job as well. I was doing some remote work for them. That's all finished now. But what's really nice is Robin's got to the stage where he's starting to go to bed and go to sleep. So I am trying, rather than just sort of scrolling on my phone, I'm trying really hard to actually make the most of that and have a little bit of time each evening where I am making. I've started going to a free knit group run by Sam of That Crafty Stitch, and I actually really love it. It's really good fun. I was a bit shy at first, and I think it's different going from being the host of a group to being someone new entering a group for a first time. Yeah, so but I really enjoy it, and actually that gives me 2 hours every other Wednesday where I just sit and knit, and I must admit I got most of that sweater done, most of it done at the previous one, and then it was just a case of finishing the sleeves, so that was really easy. On to works in progress. So autumn goals, pumpkins, Robin's sweater. Next up was socks for me. I want to finish the Quinn memory socks. So here is my second sock. I haven't got it on a sock blocker. I've done the leg and the heel flap, and I've almost finished the gusset, so then it'll just be a case of the foot. Now I'm a little bit confused because I lost the first sock when I started the second one. And I couldn't remember how many rows I'd done for the leg, so I looked on Instagram and I zoomed in and I tried to count how many repeats I had of the 4-row pattern, and then I counted and made sure I had the same amount here. But this leg looks a lot shorter, and I found the second sock, or the first sock I guess, in the dog bed. I've pulled it out, but I haven't actually checked yet as to whether, but I'm just holding this now thinking this looks so much shorter I might have to rip it back. But the pattern is, I stop wittering on about it and actually tell you what it is. It is the Quinn's Memory Sock by Sam Weaver, who goes by Weaver Makes on Instagram, and her pattern is available on Ravelry, and it's raising money for the 4 Louis charity. It was designed in memory of Sam's precious little boy Quinn, who sadly passed away at 5 days old. And yeah, he's such a precious little thing, and he's going to make such a difference with his memory socks here, and it was an honour to be able to test them, and I know I'm going to be knitting more, and I will also be purchasing the pattern to give away as gifts as well. So yeah, the yarn is my hand dyed yarn. Come on, you can do it. There you go, my hand dyed yarn in Nautical Twilight colourway, which will be coming back in the new year. And it's this really lovely pattern, alternating where your ribs, where your pearls and your knits go. I'm really enjoying it. And so yeah, I'm halfway down the second sock. There's not really a lot more to say about that. I just absolutely love it. And I've been doing it on dog walks, and the odd quiet moment that I get. I did take it to work with me and did a few rounds on my break the other day. So I'm just going to, now the pumpkins are done and the pattern is written, I'm now going to make sure I get this finished. But it wouldn't be me if I wasn't getting really distracted by something. Sorry, I just got up to see if I could find the other sock because it was really bugging me that I think one leg's shorter than the other. But it doesn't really matter because I've got such little feet that I can get 2 pairs of socks out of a skein of yarn anyway. So I can just have 2 Quinn's Memory socks, one slightly longer than the other. So I'm going quite well on my autumn making plans. You're probably in shock if you are a returning viewer and you've been with me for a while. You know that I'm great for making plans and then just sitting back and watching time sail by as I don't do them. But I've done my pumpkins, I've finished my son's flax, and I've almost finished my Quinn's Memory socks. But so naturally I've now been distracted by other things. So do you know what, I'm really distracted by the fact that I've got to go to work, and my husband's just rang me to say, do you need me to stay out any longer so you can record, because I really struggle to record when he's in the house. I feel really weird. Right, so the pumpkins themselves though were a distraction from something that I'd planned to do and started doing, which was a new sock design for my husband in yarn by Stranded Dyeworks called Oxidise or Oxide, I think it might be Oxidise, which is this beautiful tonal green. And but I've started it now. The light's gone weird. The sun is glancing off a window from my next door neighbour and shining straight into my face, but I need to stop this anyway, so it's probably a good thing. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's a little bit better. So here we are. Here is the start of my new sock design. As you can see, it is a moss stitch or seed stitch if you're in the US, and it's got a cable down one side. It's going to be my first sock design that has a left sock and a right sock. No, it's not. The Lara's Legacy socks have a left sock and a right sock. I do beg your pardon. But this sock design is going to have a left sock and a right sock. You can put it down whatever way you want, of course, but yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. It's not an awful lot to show for it now, but I wanted to show you it in progress. Come on, it just wants to focus on my face, doesn't it? Come on. I might have to put some photographs in. The thing is, this colour doesn't photograph very well, and most of the time when I've got to take photographs is actually quite late at night, so it doesn't come up very well. But isn't that beautiful? I love it. My husband really likes it. I wasn't sure how he'd feel about a textured sock, but he really likes it. So what I'm going to do, because it is time for me to go to work, is I'm going to see how much, if any, light I have left later tonight, or I might record the whole thing again tomorrow. I don't know. I really wanted to get this out today, but I don't think it's going to happen. And knowing that has completely thrown me, and the last 5 minutes have probably been total trash. Hello, it's a wee bit later. It's dark. I'm back home from work. I'm not really sure how this is going to go because I've got about 20 minutes while little one's in the bath, but it is Halloween and the door's already been knocked on once by the 2 sweetest little girls who just looked amazing. But yeah, I'm sorry about earlier. I just ran out of time, so I thought we'd just pick up this evening and see if we can get this one out of the way, because I really want to get this one out. I'm not going to have a chance to record next week because it is Robin's 2nd birthday. I can't quite believe he's going to be 2, but there we are. He's going to be 2. And yeah, I'll share a little bit more about that later maybe. So yeah, back from work, hence the hair up. I work at a cafe now, a tea room. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm wearing a shawl because I'm feeling a little bit chilly. Let me just show it to you if I can. It's rather large, so I'll show you one half of it. So this was the Tulameen Mystery Shawl by Tabitha Hedrick for, if I put that over there, then you can see, oh there you go, you can see it properly, for Sweet Georgia Yarns. It was the Mystery Knit Along, 2018, and I eventually finished it last year, and I'm so pleased I finished it because I love it. I just love finishing things. It turns out I've definitely got the finishing things bug, which kind of actually brings me really nicely onto what I was saying just before we stopped. So I was talking about my autumn plans, I'm recapping for me, not you, because I know you've only just watched this, so bear with me. Which was to finish Robin's Flax, done. Finish pair of socks for me, almost done. Finish my pumpkins, done. And I'm hoping to get that pattern out tonight. I said it will be free to start with. And to sort out my sock design, which I think I showed you at the beginning. There's not really a lot to show for it yet. I'm part way down the leg. I haven't done a full repeat of the pattern yet, but I'm hoping to get that out to testers soon. And Jude of Stranded Dyeworks is having a massive birthday update. It's Stranded's 8th birthday this year, and I believe some of the colourway that I'm using for my design will be in that update, but I will check with him. I always just get myself in loads of trouble. So Jude, you dyed that yarn, right? Yeah, the yarn that I've just promised everyone that you can have. Not there's that many of you here, so I shouldn't be in too much trouble. So yeah, socks. I got distracted. My autumn knitting plans were going so well. Oh no, we talked about my chicken and my possible top for work. I really need a top for work. At the moment I'm wearing commercial cardigans. It's quite Halloweeny, isn't it? Quite ethereal. And just black t-shirts, black sort of trouser jean things. I'm not really sure what they are. They're from Marks and Sparks, from a charity shop, but they fit quite nicely. I quite like them, quite comfy. I need a belt now. Anyway, yeah, so it was all going really well. So of course I swerved and started working on something completely different. Link with the Tillamine. Took me a few years, but I finished it. So last year I finished a whip that I started in 2018. This year I'm about to finish a whip that I started in 2019. Let me show you. So this one is currently living in my beautiful spelted bowl. I love it. That was made by Paul Martin Creations. I have a really special place in my heart for anything that's wood turned. My grandfather was a chippy, which does not mean he worked in a fish and chip shop. He worked with wood. He was a carpenter, and he used to have a lathe and turn things, and the smell of the sawdust and the wood in his garage, it just, you know, you get those olfactory memories. It just takes you right back. And as soon as I saw this, I fell in love with it. I just found out I got my new job, so I was like, can I spend 7 hours wages on a beautiful bowl? And I'm so glad I did. Look at it, isn't it stunning? I know how much time and skill this takes, and quite honestly I think £65 is probably still a little bit too cheap. And I love that I know the provenance of this bowl as well. So I'm gonna get the chap's name wrong who does the forestry. I want to say it's Joseph, but it might not be. I think it begins with a J, and he works in a forest near Axminster in Devon, which actually is where Paul's originally from, I think. I know his parents live down the road from me in Torquay at the moment, but anyway, and Paul got the wood and then turned it into this most beautiful bowl, which I spotted at the beginning of October, so almost a month ago. And I knew it had to come home with me, and so I've brought it back to Devon. How amazing is that? So anyway, it's living, it's a sizable bowl. I mean, non-yarnies could say, oh, that's a nice fruit bowl. It's far too precious for fruit. So living in that at the moment is, I wonder how many of you will recognise this. It's the Rhubarb and Custard Shawl of Dreams. It's the Bamburgh shawl by Maddie Harvey. I started this as a test knit. Don't come at me. We all know that I'm horrific at meeting test knit deadlines, although recently I have done 2 test knits and I've met both deadlines. Yes! But I am sticking to my I'm not testing anything rule at the moment. And I did enough of it to complete the test. I picked up on some bits that helped Maddie, which was great. And this was done initially as a sample for the yarn dispensary. Maddie came to teach, and it was very exciting. And I think just before Robin was born, or just after Robin was born, one of the two, I went through a bit of a whip cracking frenzy, and I got a load of this done. I think I got up to there in this last week. I've done all of this from here to here. So I've got to do this 5 times in total, this little kind of zigzag cabley section. I'm about to start the third time, and then yeah, so 2 more, and then it's fourth time, and so 2 more and it's on to the decreases, which is very exciting. So I'm using Vivacious high twist merino, which is Vivacious 4-ply, in the I No Longer Have a Clue colourway. It's on Ravelry, I'm sure. I'll have to look it up and see. I'm using that with Isager, which is Alpaca 1, which is the lace. And I'm holding the Isager or Isager double with the silk mohair lace. And it is just lovely. I'm really enjoying working on it. I spent a huge whack of time working on it at the knit group for That Crafty Stitch this Wednesday just passed. It's Wednesday now, it's Tuesday now, it's Halloween. And this Tuesday just passed. And I got a chunk done, so I'm really excited by that. So that's a whip that's had some love. And yeah, that's it really. My making time hasn't been huge, but I'm enjoying getting things finished. I'm enjoying working on my socks. I still need to work on my mother-in-law's second sock. So yeah, on to acquisitions. I'm not buying yarn, as you know. I'm trying to work from stash, but nevertheless I've got a couple of acquisitions. So this is the first one. I'm actually a product tester for this. It's a glass drinking jar with a bamboo lid and a glass straw, and it came beautifully packaged. It's really nice. I'm always a bit wary of these things with things sort of stuck on, as to whether they'd be just like stuck on, but actually that's really good. The thing, being completely honest, the thing that I didn't realise is that it wouldn't have like silicone in here, so I can't take this out anywhere really. It's just an at home. But how cute is that with the blue snowflakes? They're actually purple in real life, but you know I love me some blue. So I said I would try it out and report back. Another acquisition I've got is quite exciting and quite timely, because I've had a bunch of new subscribers over the last few weeks. Hi, welcome. I'm beyond thrilled that you've chosen to be here. There are so many creative podcasts out there on YouTube, and some incredibly produced ones. And the fact that anyone would bother subscribing to mine always blows my mind. I'm quite happy here just having a chat with whoever's happening to listen. But it is really nice to know that there are those of you that actually enjoy yourself so much you want to make sure you come back. Speaking of, if you hit the little notification button, it'll let you know when I post new videos as well. And also if you comment in the section down below, even if it's as simple as, hi, nice to see you this week, that then allows my videos to be shown to other people. So if you're enjoying it and you think other people might, then please think about doing that. Thank you. On to my acquisition. I went to an event that I helped to facilitate. Not going to go too much into it today, but I met the lovely Emma of the Maker's Mark, and I picked up her current book of needlepoint. Now I think at this point I'm going to have to do the thing I did last week and flip myself around, because I've got a feeling it's going to be in reverse. But there we are. So Needlepoint, a modern stitch directory by Emma Homond. And it's beautiful. I picked up one as a gift for my aunt, who is so sweet, Samuel. She doesn't need much help diving down rabbit holes. She's not quite as bad or good, depending on the way you want to look at it, as my friend Helen, who, when we were talking about rabbit holes, says, hey, you guys are jumping down. I'm here down here. I've set up the campfire singing Ginganguli. But it is absolutely beautiful. It is beautifully produced. A fantastic stitch dictionary. And this stitch here on her necklace, because she does kits as well, which are really cool. I'm going to put some pictures up that I took. Yeah, I'm going to find them and put them up here of some of her products. I'm particularly proud of the Halloween one that I took. I was really pleased with it. But this stitch here, Emma actually invented. How cool is that? So, I do not do needlepoint. This book has been signed, and it's for one of you. At the time I purchased it, I had no idea that I'd be shooting so close to 500 subscribers in such a short space of time. But when I hit 500 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a little draw to find someone to send this to as a thank you for watching and coming back and subscribing and all that good stuff. So if you fancy this or think there's someone who might fancy this, then please do subscribe, share, and when we hit 500, I'll be giving this away. I'm so sorry if there's lots of jump cuts. I can't stop yawning. I've got one other acquisition that I want to share with you. I've got mixed feelings about this, so I'd be interested to know what you think in the comments. My son is Thomas the Tank Engine mad, and I grew up as a child of the late 80s and 90s, at the time where Intarsia was huge, and I don't know if I've got any pictures, but I had jumpers with Forever Friends on, and My Little Pony, and my brother had Rupert the Bear and Blinky Bill and Postman Pat and all of those things. Now my little boy is absolutely Thomas bonkers. He is obsessed. That is his hyper focus. He knows everything about them. He can tell them apart. He knows all their names. He knows their tenders. He knows what's happening in each story. He's obsessed. And I'm not mad about it. We're quite enjoying it. The Thomas obsession. The other day I ended up going to work with a train in my back pocket somehow, and my boss took the train off of me and my phone off of me and proceeded to like take photographs of Emily's adventures in the tea room, which was really lovely, really nice. So anyway, I decided I wanted to make him the Thomas jumper, and I think if you've seen my previous episodes you might remember that I was considering doing this. I'm a bit scared because Intarsia is not my forte. Ball management, not something I'm that good at. And the one and only time I tried Intarsia, I got into the most unholy mess. But I went onto Etsy and I found some Thomas the Tank Engine Intarsia jumper patterns for sale. Oh, amazing. I can't believe people still have these. I'm going to buy them. So I bought one which came through as a digital download, which made me feel a bit weird because I'm like, are these meant to be available as digital downloads now? It's only 30 years. And then this one arrived. It was a physical one. I knew one of them was a physical one. I didn't realise the others were digital. And it arrived and it's a printed, photocopied pattern. I feel a little bit weird about it. It's by Gary Kennedy, Intarsia UK. Yeah. Anyway, but it doesn't tell me anything about like the licensing rights or anything like that. But it's got these 4 patterns on it. Now, as much as I want to knit from stash, I'm going to have to buy some yarn to achieve this. But that's fine. I'm going to go up to Wool on the X tomorrow, Wednesday. I've got some more exciting things coming down the pike there, potentially. Very, very excited. So I'm going up to Wool on the X tomorrow. I'm going to see Debbie and Ella and have a chat, have a cup of tea, do some knitting, do some plotting, perhaps. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it. And so I'm going to choose some yarn to do that. So that is my other acquisition. And that's it really. I do really want to make from stash. I've been started to watch this YouTube series by Claude, and she is knitting retro knits or something like that. And she has been knitting from stash for pretty much the last year. And I dived in and watched the first video, and I'm watching it. I'm like, I've got a much bigger problem than you. So really there's, and she's risen to the challenge. Arguably it's harder with a smaller stash like hers. She obviously finds that her stash too big. That's absolutely fine. It's a very subjective thing. Mine is big enough still, despite having a massive destash before we moved. And I gave loads of yarn away to friends and things like that. It's still big enough that I should be able to make projects fairly easily. So that's the plan. That's what I'm going to be doing. Yeah. Okay, so no updated autumn winter making plans because I've still obviously got some things on the go. No new podcasts that I've been watching. Marissa Maid has popped up again with a couple more, and there's one whose name is escaping me that I've dived back in with, and she is in Sweden. Pretty sure she's in Sweden. I back up the truck and shut the front door. I forgot a podcast that I've started watching. Marcus of Fiberpunk is back. He's got a new YouTube channel and he's actually uploaded 2 videos within a couple of months of each other, which, if you know Marcus, is more remarkable than me recording 3 times in the space of a month. Far more remarkable. Yeah. So go and check that out. What else? So let's do a little bit of life chat if you are interested. If you're not interested, quite understand. I hope you have a lovely rest of day, rest of week, and I'll see you again soon. If you are sticking around, well, I've got some news. So I've started this new job, which I absolutely love. I'm working in a team room called the 7 Dials, and it's at Cockington Court in a historic village in a grade 2 listed building. So home from home, really, for me. And I'm absolutely loving it. I've been there not quite a month. I started on my husband's birthday, I think, on the 10th of October. And I just feel like I've slotted right in. I'm really enjoying it, and there's lots of opportunities as well for creative things happening. It's lovely because it's kind of in the heart of Cockington in the court, and there is an element of village life to it. And I was lucky enough to be working Apple Day. I don't understand a full amount about it yet. I've not quite learnt, but basically the apples are all harvested, and then they do the cider press, and you can bring your own apples and have it pressed by the very, very ancient cider press. It's amazing. And there's stall holders that come up. There was a pirate selling beer, which was cool. We got given some cider, which went down quite well at the end of the day, and it was like working the student bars in London on a Friday or Saturday night. It was that fast-paced and busy, except for obviously slightly less messy because it was green teas we were serving, but it was definitely that speed. The queue was constantly out the door, and I think we were all just running on adrenaline. So I didn't get out to vlog it. I got a break and I went out, and Robin and I were rocking out to, he loves his music, and he was just rocking out to the music that was playing, the band, and dancing. So my husband did a bit of vlogging for me of that, and that was really cool. Yeah, and then Sunday just gone, I was allowed to kind of be the server for a wedding, which was very exciting. We had a lovely wedding. So there's a reception for marriages upstairs in the court, and then obviously you've got the church for traditional marriages as well, and that there are marriages going on all over the place, which is quite exciting. And they'd booked an afternoon tea as part of their reception, and it was just lovely. It was really nice. I can't take credit for any of the food or the table setting because that was all done before I got there, but I looked after them during that, and I loved it. I got a little bit emotional. And we've got some really exciting things coming up, like they do handmade hampers, because everything is homemade there, and it's amazing. If it wasn't for the fact that I had to work so hard and be rushing around so much, like Apple Day, I covered 10 kilometres just inside the tea room, just inside those 2 rooms. I covered 10 kilometres, which is totally beggars belief, really, doesn't it? I think I would be in slight trouble, or my wardrobe would be in slight trouble, because the homemade cakes and scones are amazing. Yeah, so that was really cool. I'm very much enjoying that. So there, the hampers are coming up, and so there'll be hamper filling coming up in December, which is very exciting. And I keep saying exciting. I'm going to be starting an in-person sit and stitch there. I need to sit and chat with the court director. We've got a meeting coming up at some point. I've got some things to get through first. I need to finish settling in first and actually doing the job I'm there to do before taking on all these new things. But I'm so excited about setting up an in-person sit and stitch there. That's very exciting. And I'll be doing some courses. And as I said, I'm going up to Wool on the X tomorrow to have a discussion about some potential collaborative working with Wool on the X as well. I mean, nothing might come of it. It's just a chat and a cup of tea and just exploring some things, and it's totally fine if nothing comes of it. But right now I'm feeling very excited and very happy. I can't quite believe that I get to do this, that I get to live here and do this job, and that I thought I was leaving most of my yarny life behind when I left my previous day job behind. But actually I haven't. More opportunities are popping up than I could ever have dreamed of. And of course the diary itself is coming back in the spring. That's definite. So I'm setting that up. And my design mojo's back, my making mojo's back, and I'm enjoying making videos again. And oh my gosh, a month tomorrow is Vlogmas. I'm going to be doing Vlogmas again. I really enjoyed Vlogmas last year. Yes, it's a lot of work, but I loved it. And some of you seem to enjoy it as well. And this year, I think Robin's going to be more into it than ever. He's really into Halloween, which really surprises me because we don't really do Halloween. We just never have. I think we grew up before it was really a big thing in the UK. And it never really attracted me, but Robin has discovered Ghostbusters, courtesy of Miss Rachel, so he keeps going, "Are you gonna call? Are you gonna call?" like that, because he can't do that, so it's, "Are you gonna call?" or more lately it's, "Are you gonna call?" which is very cute, and he goes, "Ghostbusters," and he loves skeletons and ghosts and pumpkins. We've been pumpkin spotting in our local precinct. He calls them umpkins. And we went pumpkin picking. We met up with a friend who my husband used to lecture with back in Kent, who moved to Devon a few years ago. And she's not too far from us, about an hour and a half away, which is nothing really. So we met up at Dart Farm and went pumpkin picking, and Little Bear absolutely loved it. They had these big hay bales that were kind of shrink wrapped, and the shrink wrap they'd used was white, and then they'd sprayed onto the faces of the facing side of them pumpkin faces. So Robin declared these were ghost pumpkins and he loved them. So yeah, and I did the thing. I dressed him up in jeans and a little plaid shirt, but I don't care because it's so cool. There was a lovely group photo and I just look like some sort of, I don't look my best. And I was like, okay, but if you look past that, because I don't know about you, but I'm really self-critical when I look at pictures of myself. My default is to pick holes in myself and not be very kind to myself. I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people in my generation are, and it's a product of all sorts of things. But if you look past that, the smile and the happiness, I just felt such joy. It was lovely. Our big worry was that he has refused to wear welly boots. He didn't want them on. We tried to put them on him so that he'd go playing in the park with his little friend, because Alan's ex-colleague has a little boy who's just about 6 months older than Robin, and he didn't want them on, and I was like, oh no, we're going to have to take these welly boots back. But out of nowhere on Sunday he decided he was going to wear his welly boots, and so we went puddle jumping and it was brilliant. It was so much fun. And it's just the joy of a small person. And honestly, do the thing, make the leap, make the change, do the thing, because as scary as it is, it's so worth it. Certainly in my experience, it's so worth it. And what's the worst that can happen? Goes a bit wrong, but so far, it's all good. So yeah, that's that. And then obviously you've got Robin's birthday coming up. That's next Monday, so we're going to have a little family party here for him. Been collecting things from Marketplace and eBay for him for his birthday. It's definitely Thomas heavy. I'm actually going to be making his cake at work, which is really cool. My mum had saved a cake tin with I think a mould is probably the easiest way to describe it. I don't have it here to show you, but you can line it with sugar paste and create the relief of Thomas coming out of a bridge. And I'm going to be painting that and hand paint that. So he's going to have a Thomas cake. He doesn't know idea. And I'll be doing it at work, so he won't see it, which is brilliant. So we're going to be doing that with a bonfire buffet, and yeah, that's really cool as well. So that's it really. That's everything. That's the making, that's the life stuff, that's, yeah, I can't stop grinning. I'm probably being really insufferable at the moment. Oh, look what arrived today. I got home from work today to a parcel, and look at this. Isn't that just the sweetest? It says, a good place for knitting woolly socks. Isn't that lovely? It's by Amanda Banham Ceramics, and it came, and I'm really glad it came with this. It came with a little house shaped magnet, which is great because Robin wanted this, and there's no way he's getting hold of this. I love my son dearly. I love this house in one piece also. But the little magnet he then went and put on the fridge, and he's very pleased with the little house. So we're like, okay, you treat that carefully, you can use the magnet. But I mean, just how cute is that? It's really sweet. I love it. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. That was such a nice surprise to receive, and I absolutely love it. Been to the library, so I've started reading again, which is really nice, and I thought I might do a bit of book chat in another video at some point. I'm discovering, although there's loads of yarning opportunities presenting themselves, which are really exciting, and I had no, oh, hang on, rewind, sorry, I'm all over the place, I'm too giddy. I'm not going to be going to Stitches this weekend. I was planning to go to Stitch Fest Southwest, which is at Newton Abbot Racecourse, which is 5 minutes up the road from me, about a 10-minute drive up the road from me, and I was really looking forward to seeing Susie of Folkestone Harbour Yarns, some of the other vendors, and getting to know some local to me makers and dyers as well. Unfortunately, I I volunteered. It was a date I already had in my diary before I started work, but it became apparent that they were going to be quite short-staffed, and although I was allowed it off, I love it there, and I love my team that I get to work with, and I wouldn't have enjoyed it. They didn't ask me, I'm really clear, they did not ask me to work it. I have volunteered to work it, but it makes me feel much better. So I'm not going to be going to Stitches this year, but I'm very much hoping to go next year. And I'm hoping to take you on a bit of a tour of yarn shops and things around and about as well. I hope you enjoyed Becky Falls footage last time. And yeah, I'm getting giddy and all over the place, so I'm going to have to stop talking before you completely get travel sickness by trying to follow my trains of thought. Yeah. So yeah, Vlogmas, are you looking forward to it? Whose Vlogmases are you going to watch this year? Who should I be watching? I'm going to be watching Penrose Knits. I would like to watch Nitty Natty. I didn't keep up with her last year, but I do enjoy it. Any other recommendations for me? And also, what would you like to see more of on the channel, if anything, or less of? We'll see. Hope you have had a lovely time with me this afternoon, evening, whenever you happen to be watching this. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for watching with me, and hopefully I'll see you in probably another fortnight. I think fortnightly is going to be the way to go. I'm not sure if I'm going to record podcasts as well during Vlogmas or just Vlogmas, because Vlogmas is a bit much. I'm going to get in the swing of things by doing a little bit of a vlog style video, because I'm interspersing lots of life stuff in these videos at the moment. So I think I'm going to do a vlog style video to just get me into the swing of things. So that might be the next video that comes up, and I hope you enjoy the tour of my little corner of Devon, whatever I get up to. Yeah. Anyway, all the best to you. Stay safe. Happy Halloween. Take care. Bye. Can you say...
Hello, Beth.
Try again. Hello.
Hello, Beth.
Say happy.
Happy Halloween!